Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is Christelle Martinette. Oh my God, I feel naked without my rings. Just sorry about that. I have just finished a scrying session. Why I didn't have them on was because I just finished a scrying session on my other channel. Go take a look. The channel is called Mystic Scrying Medium Christelle. Scrying is C-R-Y-I-N-G. Mystic Scrying Medium Christelle. I'll have it in the box under below. It was an interesting session. And this I'm reading now. It's a Saturday here in Europe, the 30th of July, tail end of the month. We'll be coming up to a new moon August 2nd. And I waited until now because the air was so heavy, the energy was so heavy, and there was a lot of nervousness, a lot of obsession, a lot of, so much so that as I'm mixing, I'll tell you about it. Ever since I started doing this type of work, I've always tried to understand what it was occurring at an energetic level and try to respond in kind. What could I do for something like that? And the basic underlying malady that I have found that characterizes, it's a common denominator perhaps, is fear, and on the extreme it turns into obsession. Any way you cut it. Obsession with when he will come back. When will he come back? Why hasn't she answering me? What is on their mind? Why can't they talk to me? I've written so many times, and it's very difficult for to work with with a very nervous energy, and so I'm targeting it with hypnosis, and that you can find on my website as well. But as I said, very, very fearful times, especially the last 2 weeks. Well, I'm including myself in it. We're being challenged. Okay, this is what I'm going to call it. This is a challenge for us. But today I started feeling, as a matter of fact, not today, just about half an hour ago, I started feeling this lightness all of a sudden, lifting as if a cloud was lifting. So I thought, okay, let me see what it's all about. And here we are. Let's take a look at these. This is the Voodoo New Orleans Tarot. The New Orleans Voodoo Tarot, if I can get that right. All right, now there's the focus here is that you will be told, you will get wind of information. You will be told a secret. You will be, there could be a revelation. We can call it a revelation. That will be coming to you. For most, I'm going to say it's more than 50%, it's about a 58%. For most, it will be a revelation. You will learn something, or something will be revealed. Revealing means moving the veil, and you will see it finally, And what is interesting is that it's not bad. It's not a revelation that will hurt you. It may come to you as a surprise, but it will by no means be negative for you yourself. You may learn of someone who is probably suffering, but in the way you learn about it is in a positive sense. They had been. Okay, so I'm talking about a revelation, a bit of news coming in that is of a positive nature. Now, as I said, for most of us, it's going to be a revelation of some sorts. But for others, it's going to be an announcement. You're going to hear, just as if you were watching the television. I'll start as I speak, mixing the other cards, this other tarot deck. It's almost as if you hear an announcement on the television. You're cooking, you're traveling down in your car, and the radio's on, and you hear an announcement that means so much to you. it is something that you've been waiting to hear. It's something that is a game. I use that word often, a game changer, something that changes the rules on the table. Okay, there's an announcement or a revelation coming in, and this is good news. Good news. Now, leading up to that, and I'm talking about this pre-new moon period. This is the July the 30th, yes, and so they're about 3 days before that new moon comes around. But in waiting, for this, who's afraid of the new moon? This beautiful new moon. I'm in the scrying session. I saw it was a lovely, playful energy there. There is a moment where it sees you as if you are holding on for dear life. You're holding on. And you're holding on to old habits, old baggage, old things for security. There's you're doing it for fear and security. But you, differently from the past, because that was the energy of these past 2 weeks, you start to slowly, you know how you're just before you're going to sleep and you're starting to close your eyes, you're watching that movie or you're talking to somebody or you're drinking that wine or whatever, that chamomile tea, and the eyelids just start to close a little bit and your muscles start to relax when you really know that you're going to be sleeping soon. That's what happens to you. Around today, tomorrow, you start to relax. You start to relax because the energy is changing. Just like I felt it 30 minutes ago, the energy has changed. There's a definite shift. Then we have this announcement coming in, or the revelation. What is that all about? Of course, with the other deck and the other cards, I'll be getting more information, but the groundwork here, the energy behind this is an energy of exchange. As you, put my glasses on, I can't see. If I don't read it, I can't see the cards. I'm getting excited. All right, it's as if the information, the revelation, the reawakening, the announcement sets off something that prompts you to offer an exchange to someone, that prompts you to move towards someone in a benevolent way, in an open way that you've never done before with that person or those people. And it's like you're carrying an olive branch. And, it's lovely to see because you're almost shy in doing that. You're walking there almost in a shy manner, and with your eyes down, as if you're a bit ashamed that you haven't done so earlier. But then, and this is all in a day's work, I'm literally talking about 24, 48, 36 hours, that you come in after this moment of, even if it's just a phone call, a text message exchange, after that little opening or wide opening, then you start to, that little bit of fear tries to seep in, and you covet yourself. You embrace yourself and your things, your energy, and think, what have I done? What has gone down? How did that happen? Okay, now this is the, and I'm traveling, so I have this deck and another deck. I'm using now the Initiatory Tarot of the Golden Dawn. Great deck. And see what I knew that. I knew. Christelle Martinette knew. Oh, it's always nice to know. But it's always nice to have doubt as well. Look, of course, it's always so embarrassing. My computer shut off right when I was getting excited. So I was saying, I put out the other tarot deck, and as you remember, I said the late period, these past 2 weeks, 10 days, 2 weeks, were very, very nervous, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video. Very difficult, very fearful. There was obsession there. This gives way now to these days, 24, 48, 36 hours in this time frame, to a feeling that you have so many choices before you. It's almost embarrassing. You can pick and choose. You can choose to, it's as if you're thinking, okay, today from now on, I'm going to do this. And so what do? You turn things on your head and you try to see your situation, the past situation, as if it were not there. You don't want to take that into consideration, but you feel you're acting as if it's not there. You want to see it differently. What do you see? You see the energy of this lovely King of Cups. It's in Italian, Re di Coppe. This lovely King of Cups. Water, emotions. You start seeing the emotional side to the story. This is a reading for all signs, but I'm talking in terms of elements. That's the focus. Your emotions are the focus of this reading in these 3 days leading up to the new moon. That's followed by the Two of Cups. So definitely here, when you hear that announcement, that revelation, that information coming, it will really strike an emotional chord with you. And as you remember, I said, this is a Radha Nandambuklu. You're going toward the other person. The two, a two over a two. You're going toward that other person. There's an emotional exchange. Definitely an emotional exchange. Now, this is the thing. I have a Petro. This is a fire sign. Petro Hunsis. Okay, now. The Four of Pentacles is over that. The Four of Pentacles is us arising from our ashes. No ifs, ands, or buts. Now, I'm going to take, of course, the Virasibila to see what they can show us. I'm getting very excited about this reading because it's been such a difficult period, and I'll put myself right in the forefront, even though, what I've had around me was more nervous and more obsessive than I could take, but there's a way, and we've made it till here, and if we're talking to each other and you're listening to me, that means that we have made it through. We are survivors. I'm going to take this, the Virasibila here over the Il Mago, Il Bagatto. This is the magician here. All right, something new, definitely. Okay, now, we have Morte, the death card. Dottore, doctor, and Giovane Fanciulla. Here we see definitely a change. We see something healing. And my scrying session in that other channel, Mystic Scrying Medium, Christelle talks about purging. This is what is happening. And the magician tells us is you have the feeling as if you can do it in any way possible, any way you want. Now, let me take a look at your change of perspective and you turning the situation on its ear and seeing it from a different perspective. And we saw that it was from an emotional perspective. What do we have here? We've got gelosia, jealousy. This is the card of speranza, hope, and loss, the vedovo, the widower. These are two cards that mirror each other, and what it's saying, the emotional focus of the spread, is that our hopes lie in our emotions to offset a loss, a current loss, a recent loss, or a loss of heart, a loss that we're feeling. Then I'm looking at the two twos, the Radha Nandambuklu, and the Two of Cups here, the Due di Coppe in Italian. We have this beautiful deck. All right, now going towards a partnership. All right, we have here the nemico, the enemy, male enemy, Constance, and pensiero, All right, these two cards, the Nemico and the Pensiero, are really, well, this is telling me that they have always been thinking about a way to remove these clothes, purge themselves, as I said in my scrying session, purge this image, this archetype of the enemy, and find a different way. This was a common denominator. This is a common element for you in your thoughts constantly. And it precluded you from going into a relationship. Now, the outgoing cards, the rising from your ashes, the Four of Pentacles, and the Hunsis, Pedro Hunsis card. All right, this is definitely interesting, very interesting. Remember I said you will covet yourself. You'll be so surprised that you exposed yourself, and then you'll be coveting yourself. You'll be, rallying around the heart chakra. Why? Because then that element of a wee bit of fear before the full moon comes in rears its ugly head. But what do we have here? We have something that is tantamount to the strength card in the tarot. We have the denaro, the safe, the institutional strength. And then we have this fear, this cat, which would be falsità, lies. But they, more than lies here, I see them as a way to get back into your graces, the graces of yourself, trying to be true to yourself, because you exposed yourself. It was uncharacteristic with that person, with those people, with that group of people, with that family. And then you, viaggio, trip, you're on the way. You feel like you've made headway. It was after that purging process that I talked about in my scrying session. This is interesting. I'm going to take now the runes here to see what they can tell me to crown the reading. All right. Yeah, as you noticed, I did not mention finance, abundance, economics, money at all. And in effect, these 3 days are not about that. The emphasis is on sharing, moving, not even so much, but try to purge. I'm going to use that word again, purge yourself onto a journey that is up ahead. I'll be back on the new moon, the 2nd of July, for a reading to see how that develops, because I see an even flow, but not moving very much. A very small incident, a very small window of opportunity where you move toward the other in emotional terms. And initially, it will bring you fear because it's uncharacteristic. It's something that you would not have ever done. But you are protected in this. You are protected in this. And that smacks of success. Even though we have Wunjo Merkstave, which tells us it's not, all that glitters is not gold. But just be reminded that there is a lot of protection here and you're on your way to success. That purging process is only the beginning of a longer series, but you'll be wanting to do that together. Ladies and gentlemen, namaste. Why do I say together? Wunjo Merkstave. Wunjo is half of Manats. Till we read again. Thank you so much for being with me. Bye-bye.